ladies and gentlemen. I'm Aaron. These are my group members here. We're all 10th graders. We're currently looking into World War One exhibition, which is a mixture of the historical aspect and the English aspect. I will mainly be talking to you about the Screaming Plan and Plan 17 and what made it into the trench warfare for a quick review. So, if I could ask, does anyone know what the Screaming Plan is? Yes?
Yes.
Sorry?
Sorry, yes.
Could
The
you...
Screaming Plan was, let's say what Adolf later say, a very quick moving attack through Belgium
Yeah.
and circle around to the east and then west.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
in fact, then and they were thinking that then the French would attack Elsass-Lothringen.
Yes.
Could attack them in the back and okay.
Good answer, sir. Thank you. So I'll also give a quick review on who made it, who requested to make this. So this plan, Schrieffen plan, is actually created by Alfred von Schrieffen, and it used to fight off the Russians and the French. But this plan was actually requested by Kaiser Wilhelm II. And it was actually created in 1903, when the Germans was forced to declare war with the France on the 3rd of August 1914. Their plans started getting worse when Great Britain has also started declaring war on Germany on the 4th of August 1914. But Great Britain has agreed to defend Belgium from the war. Now I'll be moving on to Plan 17. Does anyone know what Plan 17 was? Perhaps you, sir?
No, exactly.
So Plan 17 has another name that was called the Scheme of Mobilization and Concentration, which was made by the French Conseil Superieur de la Guerre. In English is the peacetime title of the French General Staff. The plan was contributed in 1912 to the 1914. It was also put into account by the war to fight the Germans, but unfortunately, Plan 17 has failed. The reason it failed was because they were trying to do what the German wanted the French to do, but the French assaulted Alsace-Lorraine to recoup them. The Germans depended on the French doing this and left just a little armed force to protect Alsace-Lorraine. And here's a little map. So as you can see, the red lines here are technically how the Schlieffen Plan went towards, and the blue lines are technically how Plan 17 was moving. Now I'll pass this around. And the last part is, how did it lead into trench warfare? Because of these two plans, it has caused trench warfare by that, it was disappointment of the Schlieffen Plan that led on to trench warfare. Alfred von Kluck armed force couldn't keep to the schedule that was required by the plan. It additionally was a subject to use of French and the Belgian railroads, quite a bit of it, but was harmed and demolished. And here comes the trenches, created a harsh reality of all soldiers. A reality you are about to experience in a play reproduced using lines from actual accounts, poems, diaries, to create 4 different scenes. Please enjoy.
Yo, Alex, we got a newbie.
Hey. Alex, what's your name?
Hey, Lucas.
Lucas.
Yeah.
How old are you?
15.
15.
Yeah, I told him a bit like about our routine and like what we do here.
Oh, so you know you're not gonna get any sleep anytime soon.
What?
Yeah, you don't get much sleep here. There's no time for it, simply. We wake up at dawn every day for the morning hate, that's what we call it. Pretty much we just aim our rifles at the enemy trench in case they attack, because dawn is the time most likely for surprise attacks. Anyway, at least we get booze.
Yeah.
Yeah. You want a sip?
No thanks.
Booze is the holy water of trenches. Don't expect to get through this life without learning to drink. You get 70 milliliters a day of 80% rum, and they better be enough, because they just keep your spirit up in this grim reality. So you just learn to drink.
Yeah,
Otherwise-
we're fighting a war against the Austrians and the German, but our deadliest foe seems to be the drink. Well, but even I can't tell.
Why?
Well, most of us are alcoholics. I even heard of an officer who got his company needlessly destroyed because he was no longer capable of taking clear decisions.
Yeah, and the sad thing is that if those guys had disobeyed him, because they realized he couldn't take decisions, they would have probably been shot on treason.
This sounds terrible.
It is terrible. But anyway, after that you get your chore, your daily chore. Could be pumping out water from trenches. I mean, when it rains, this place is soaked up to your knees. It usually reaches our knees. Or it could be setting up barbed wire. Sometimes you might have to dig new trenches, and that's kind of hard with Fritz feeling around with his artillery all the time.
Fritz?
Fritz.
Yeah, the Germans.
Yeah. That's what we call them, at least. Anyway, after that, once you're done, boredom starts. That's where things really start going slow.
Yeah, the boredom is the worst. I mean, life in trenches is grim and monotonous, but if there's no attacks and no war, there's just hard work and boredom, and only a fool attacks in broad daylight.
Exactly. So you better find yourself a pastime, like playing cards. I don't know. What do you enjoy?
I don't know. Reading books.
Reading books. Oh, that's good. You could even write letters home or write poems if you're that type of guy. Or not. Anyway, after that we have the stand to arms, which is just like morning 8, but then at dawn, because there could be another surprise attack. We just don't call it morning 8 because it's not in the morning, of course. And then night chores. They are the worst.
Yeah, night chores, you could be like gathering resources from the back lines, or I don't know, being on watch, or sitting at the sentry position.
Have you ever heard of Maxim gun?
Maxim gun.
Maxim guns, they're these big guns, and personally when I hold them, I feel so empowered. I feel like I could lay waste to the whole German army.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Well, you could be on listening position as well.
A listening position?
Listening position is pretty much you sit in a hole, try to listen to what's going on in the enemy trench. Maybe you might find some secret plan. Never happens. It's pretty boring, to be honest.
The worst has got to be patrolling. Patrolling is like,
For sure.
it's one of the most dangerous jobs you can get. Like, you can't use your gun, because if you get spotted by the enemies, or if they hear you, then your life's over. And so what sometimes enemy patrols and our patrols do is they kind of just ignore each other to like protect their own lives and be safe. But if you do get in a fight, you're going to use bayonets, knives, fists, and it's not pleasant.
Have you ever seen a man die?
No.
Better get used to it.
Yeah, it's one nasty jolt, the first casualty. Especially in our case, if it was a good man.
Yeah. Got a shard of an artillery bomb straight through the back of his neck. Died on the spot. At least he didn't suffer, I hope.
Yeah.
That's how I'd want to die, to be honest.
You'll get used to it.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, that's it. Don't expect to be getting any sleep, as I said earlier.
Yeah, like by the end of this, or already now probably, undisturbed sleep will seem more desirable than heaven.
Much more distant than that. Anyway, that's it. We can't escape. We're just sitting here waiting to be killed.
We're all prisoners. Second act.
Finally, we decided to release the gas. The weatherman was right. It was a beautiful day. The sun was shining. Where there was grass, it was blazing green. We should have been going on a picnic, not doing what we were going to do. The artillery put up a really heavy attack starting in the afternoon. The French had to be kept in their trenches. After the artillery was finished, we sent the infantry back and opened the valves was the strings. About supper time, the gas started toward the French. Everything was stone quiet. We all wondered what was going to happen.
The French troops saw none of this installation of premeditated murder. Looking across to the German trenches at about 5 in the afternoon, they saw a series of sharp puffs of white smoke. And then trundling along with the wind came the queer greenish-yellow fog that seemed strangely out of place in the bright atmosphere of that clear April day. It reached the parapet, paused, gathered itself like a wave, and ponderously lapped over into the trenches. Then passive curiosity turned to active torment, a burning sensation in the head, red-hot needles in the lungs, the throat seized as by a strangle. Many fell and died. The others, gasping, stumbling with faces contorted, hands wildly gesticulating and uttering hoarse cries of pain, fled madly through the villages and farms and through Ypres itself, carrying panic to the remnants of the civilian population and filling the roads with fugitives of both sexes and all ages.
As this great cloud of green-grey gas was forming in front of us, we suddenly heard the French yelling. In less than a minute, they started with the most rifle and machine gun fire that I had ever heard. Every field artillery gun, every machine gun, every rifle that the French had must have been firing. I had never heard such a noise. The hail of bullets going over our heads was unbelievable, but it was not stopping the gas. The wind kept moving the gas towards the French lines. We heard the cows bawling and the horses screaming. The French kept on shooting. They couldn't possibly see what they were shooting at. In about 15 minutes, the gunfire started to quit. After a half hour, only occasional shots. Then everything was quiet again. In a while it had cleared, and we walked past the empty gas bottles. What we saw was total death. Nothing was alive. All the animals had come out of their holes to die. Dead rabbits, moles and rats and mice were everywhere. The smell of the gas was still in the air. It hung on the few bushes which were left. When we got to the French lines, the trenches were empty, but in half a mile the bodies of French soldiers were everywhere. It was unbelievable. Then we saw there were some English. You could see where men had clawed at their faces and throats, trying to get breath. Some had shot themselves. The horses still in their stables, cows, chickens, everything, all were dead. Everything, even the insects were dead.
Second act.
Okay.
Sam. Can't even use our guns. They expect us to go out here unprotected? I mean, just bound to die.
Hide.
You don't want to shoot. Come on. Look. You could have killed me before you wanted to. Come on. Put the gun down. You don't want to shoot. Look, I don't even want to kill you. I already killed a man today. Come on. Take a seat. Come on. Here. Sit. Sit. Yeah. Put the gun down. Thanks. What's your name?
Fritz.
Fritz. German by eating my name, huh? You want a cigarette? Ah, never mind. I dropped them. Wait. You don't smoke? I can tell you're new around here. You don't shoot. Don't kill people. Don't smoke. You don't get through war without those things. I mean, killing is obvious, and nicotine just makes it all that much better. You can't stand this place anymore. Do you mind if I take my shoes off? Thanks, they're killing me.
What is with your feet?
My feet. It's called trench foot. You know what it is? No. Disease? You know what that is? Disease. Fungus. Yeah, it's a fungus. Our trenches, they're made of earth. And water falls in them. And it creates mud. You know what the mud is. And our feet are wet. Our socks are soaked. Completely soaked. And it causes trench foot. Sometimes we have to cut it off. I hope that's not my case, but to be honest, we don't get any treatment, so it probably will be. I just have to live with it.
Our trench is concrete.
Concrete. Seriously? Echt? Yeah. Lucky. Can't believe it. Ours are horrible.
We also have
Diseases.
diseases. We have
what
the
do you have?
Läuse,
What's that?
the
Lice.
Yeah.
Alright, well, we have that as well. I'm afraid to say you don't have anything special.
maybe you could try this.
What's that?
It help for the
Lice. Lice.
Yeah.
Can I keep it? Things. How do you even get all these things?
we have a lot of this in our bunker.
Your bunker. Well, why? Like, we don't get any of these things. And
At the start of the war, we dig in before you, so we have more stuff in our trenches.
And I guess you're just lucky.
No, we are not lucky. We fight war all day.
Yeah, sounds like a familiar routine to me.
We thought it was going to be over soon, but it takes too long.
Everything you tell me, I already heard. They told us the war would be over by Christmas. You're right. Yes, it's 1916. It's been 2 years since I set foot on a battlefield, and it's still not over.
You fight in the front lines.
Yeah. Well, front line 2 weeks. We call it trench cycles. Then I go to the reserve, to support line 1 week, reserve line 2 weeks, and Ypres, the city, the town, for 1 week. And I have a couple of beers, play some football with the lads. That's it. And then I'm back to it. I'm so tired of this. It's killing me. We're just all sent here to be slaughtered, to be honest. And don't you miss your family? Well, probably have to go. I have a body to carry back because I'm not going to let him rot right here where everyone can step on him. Officers will be suspicious. And, oh, by the way, don't talk to this about anyone because otherwise you're dead and probably die soon after. I'd like to see you again, but that would imply I'd have to kill you, so it's not the best of ideas.
See you again.
See you. Yeah. That's not what I meant, but you know what? Sure. See you again.
Okay, now our last and final act.
Oh, dude, you punched me in the nose. Sorry. Alright, boys. Up. You gotta clean your feet. Because you don't want to get trench foot, do you? I know it's repetitive. No one always do this. But it's not my fault if it keeps raining. So get to it.
Where were you last week?
I was moved up to the field artillery. You know, the big guns back there. Well, they're not as big as the heavy artillery, but you know, still pack a punch. Too bad we can't really do a lot of damage with them because of their straight trajectories. It's fine.
Oh, it's still better than being or sitting hunchbacked in the trenches, I guess.
Yeah,
Jeez,
but
that got boring.
yeah, but we did have terrible weather though. Horrible.
Yeah, well, we also did. Jeez, the weather, it was wintery. The breeze was terrible. there was no way for us to keep warm. I mean, we've tried everything that we could think of.
Yeah.
I mean, we rolled ourselves in our overcoats, and we have attached some sandbags even to our boots, but it didn't change anything.
Yeah.
It just
I know.
got worse actually, and yeah.
Yeah, I know how you feel. I'm sick unto death. My legs and thighs are killing me. My knees are swollen.
Wait. Your legs and thighs,
Yeah,
they hurt.
yeah,
They're unbearable.
yeah, unbearable.
It's not the first time I hear that. Hey, I'm pretty sure you got typhoid.
No.
I'm sorry, but maybe you should get it checked out at the med bay.
Yes, sir.
I'll let you go later.
Oh, did you hear what happened to Sam, by the way?
What?
You don't know what happened to Sam?
No.
I'm afraid your comrade got shell shock.
What?
Yeah, the enemy started firing at around dinner time, and you know, with the big guns like they usually do. And yeah, when the first shell hit, the shell shock case like nearly went mad. He screamed and raved, and took 8 of us to keep him down on the stretcher bearer. With every shell that hit, he would get into a fit of screaming and fight to get away. It's heartbreaking to watch something like this. It's like, you can't describe the amount of terror.
Yeah, well, at least he got it now. Had he gotten it a couple of years ago, he would have been killed. Shot for treason. Because if someone behaves like that in a trench, or disobeys his commander, that's what happens. He gets charged with treason. But now we know about shell shock, so he'll just get treated for it. It's not that.
I guess that's the only positive. Well, I mean, we also have the millions of lices here. I mean, when we go sleep, they go up. I mean,
like the rats.
yeah.
I don't know who's hunting, the rats or us.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, Luke, we need to make sure that later we need to bring their ammunition to the foot artillery in this trench, because otherwise they won't have enough to keep away.
Artillery strike! Take cover, boys!
Oh, where'd he go?
There's an explosion there.
Should we just clap?
Man, I'm coming back to life already.
What did you... Okay.
A whole night,
Oh.
a whole night, thrown near a massacred companion, with his mouth sneering, facing the whole moon with the congestion of his hands, penetrating my silence. I've written letters full of love. I've never been attached to life so much. A whole night